Creed, Nickelback, and a host of late 90s bands get together for the Summer of 99 and Beyond festival. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are looking to sell their catalog for a lot of money, and Fyre Fest 2 is back so you can get ripped off all over again. We're going to break it all down on this edition of the Rock News Roundup Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rock News Roundup Podcast, your destination for the latest in rock music news, reviews, and discussion here on the Nick Chino Music YouTube channel. I'm your host, Nick Chino. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the show. We got the mics on, we got the devil horns up, and we're here to talk about the latest in rock music news. Before we get to the show, remember you can watch this on YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video and to this channel if you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're seeing. And you can also access this podcast as an audio-only version on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can check out the audio-only edition of the show. You can also follow me across platforms on social media at Nick Chino Music. And if you are watching this on YouTube, there are a couple of new videos that I posted up on the channel over the last couple of weeks. The first one being the rock album review for the new album from Manic Street Preachers, their 15th studio album. It's hard to believe they've released that many albums. Their 15th studio album, Critical Thinking, came out last week, so I have a rock album review for that up on the channel right now. And this past weekend, I posted a rock album review for the brand new album from English singer-songwriter Sam Fender. His album People Watching, that rock album review is up there on the channel right now. But you know what? Let's get to the latest in rock music news and discussion. One of the topics we're going to be talking about in just a little bit is Nickelback and Creed, or Creed and Nickelback, getting together with a host of awesome late 90s bands to get together for the Summer of 99 tour, the Summer of 99 festival, the Summer of 99 cruise. A lot of Summer of 99 stuff coming up, so we'll talk about that. Also, Red Hot Chili Peppers are looking to sell their catalog for a very, very large sum of money, and they're not the first band to do that, so we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And we're going to talk about the return of Fyre Fest. Yes, you might remember that debacle that was Fyre Fest a few years back, where a lot of people got ripped off and had a horrible time. Well, you know what? They're going to try to do it all over again and maybe rip people off all over again as well. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But right before I went on to do this podcast, I saw a little bit of exciting news posted online, and that is Pink Floyd's Live at Pompeii, their classic film, Live at Pompeii, is coming out in IMAX theaters as well as on vinyl and on streaming with a new 2025 mix of this. If you've never seen this is one of the best rock and roll films ever made. It's Pink Floyd's legendary performance at Pompeii in Italy in 1972 in the empty amphitheater among all the ruins of Pompeii. One of the most epic music performances that you can ever see. Of course, Pink Floyd known for being absolutely epic, but this is definitely one of their most epic performances. If you've never treated yourself to Echoes, all 25 minutes, which kicks off the performance of Live at Pompeii, if you haven't listened to that version of Echoes, you haven't lived, because it's literally just one of the best performances of any song, let alone a Pink Floyd song, just like any song ever performed on this Live at Pompeii thing. And it's one of my absolute favorite rock concert films that I've ever seen. In fact, back in the day when I was in my college days, me and my buddy Ryan, who I've had here on the channel, and some other buddies, we would sit down with some herbal remedies. That's what I'll call it, an herbal remedy on this edition of the show. We would sit down with some herbal remedies and just zone out and rock out to Pink Floyd's Live at Pompeii. So I was actually thinking, I got to text Ryan. Maybe we can get together and smoke a J and go see Pink Floyd live in IMAX. Because, you know what? This would be absolutely fantastic in IMAX. I'm used to going to see all the Marvel movies and Star Wars and stuff in IMAX. But to see Live at Pompeii from Pink Floyd in IMAX, probably going to be pretty mind-blowing. So I'm really, really looking forward to checking that out. So that's going to be hitting theaters very soon. And then April 24th, I think, is when it's going to be happening in IMAX theaters. And then they're going to be releasing a digitally remastered version of the performance on vinyl for the first time. So that is pretty cool as well. So if you've never seen Pompeii, or if you've seen it before, to see it on IMAX is going to be absolutely incredible. And then it's actually one of the best concert films ever, and a really great Pink Floyd performance, like them right in their prime. I believe it was recorded maybe in between Metal and Dark Side of the Moon. There's actually some clips of them recording Dark Side throughout the documentary, which I thought was really, really cool. So really prime Pink Floyd time right there. 1972, in between Metal and Dark Side of the Moon, performing in Pompeii. Absolutely incredible. So really looking forward to that. So April 24th, Pink Floyd will be releasing Live at Pompeii in IMAX theaters up on that huge screen. It's going to be amazing. And then releasing the performance on vinyl for the first time. So that is really, really cool. So if you're a Pink Floyd fan or just a rock fan in general, this is really, really neat. And a new 2025 mix of their performance as well. Worth it just to go see them do Echoes, or Careful with That Axe, Eugene. That's also a really, really great performance from that as well. So if you want to check it out, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii is going to be hitting theaters on April the 24th in IMAX. So I'm definitely going to be picking up my tickets for that. I'm going to give Ryan a call, see if he'd be interested in an herbal remedy and go just zone out to Pompeii like the old days. That would be awesome. But let's get to our headliner topics on this edition of the podcast. And this one is... this is quite a topic. Do you feel like getting ripped off, or maybe ripped off again? Because they're bringing back Fyre Fest. Fyre Fest 2 is going to be happening this summer. Billy McFarland, the genius behind the disaster known as Fyre Fest, a man who served time in prison for defrauding people as part of this whole scam of this disastrous festival back in May 2017. He's back. You might remember Netflix did a documentary a few years ago about Fyre Fest. A bunch of people did documentaries about it. It was a whole debacle. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, of course, back then, this was 2020 or 2021. He promised the attendees at this Fyre Fest, there's like this amazing festival that was going to be happening, this next generation festival that everybody was going to want to go to. He's like, everybody's going to have these awesome geodomes to sleep in. And, there's going to be food prepared by celebrity chefs. And then bands like Blink-182 were going to be on the bill. Like, it was all coming up, instead of coming up Milhouse, coming up McFarland. And then the people who attended the festival, it ended up just being a huge disaster. All they got were wet mattresses and really crappy tents. They got prepackaged sandwiches, and all the bands dropped out of the bill. The people that actually went down to Fyre Fest were stranded down there. So yeah, Billy McFarland is that guy who made this happen. And so he's back now. I guess going to prison for this was not enough. He wants to try it again and see if he can do this. And he's back with Fyre Fest 2, Electric Boogaloo. I added the Electric Boogaloo part in there. But seriously, this is something that is actually happening. It's going to be happening in Quintana Roo, Mexico, this summer from May 30th to June 2nd. But it's going to be different this time around, guys, okay? Trust us. This is going to be absolutely different. This time, Billy McFarland is saying that he's booked artists from across different genres to play the festival. So he's got rock, hip-hop, pop, and everything in between. Some EDM, I'm sure, in there for all the people that like that at the festival as well. And then he's also saying it's going to go beyond music as well. There's maybe going to be some professional skateboarder demonstrations. They're going to be doing some X Games kind of stuff. Maybe an MMA fighting instruction from one of the big MMA fighters. It's all going to be great. Of course, nothing has been confirmed at all. They're kind of hoping for the Wayne's World 2 method of doing things. If you book them, they will come. That's what the Jim Morrison said to Wayne in that movie. Thankfully, they all ended up coming to Wayne stock, but I don't know if that's going to really work for Fyre Fest. So tickets are on. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Tickets are on sale right now. The low price. Okay, the lowest ticket is $1,400. That's going to get you the Ignite Pass. Okay, $5,000 for the Fuego Elevated Experience Pass. I have no idea what would be an elevated experience. Maybe some better sandwiches this time around. $25,000 for the Phoenix Artist Access Pass. I don't even know what that is. And then, okay, this part is really ridiculous, guys. All right, check this out. A cool $1 million, actually $1 million and like $1,000, like $1,000,000. I don't even know what I'm saying. $1 million is going to be is going to be what it is for the Prometheus Pass. So you can get ripped off all over again. This will include your own yacht docked off just offshore from the festivities, and you get to go scuba diving with Billy McFarland himself. I don't know if I would trust that. It seems the kind of guy that would probably just like, if you had to, it's like, I need to breathe. Give me your scuba gear while he let you drown. I'm not saying that's what he would do, but who knows? I don't know the guy. This is, I just, when I was reading this online, I'm like, really? Seriously? Like, this is just mind boggling. I hate to say it, but if you're one of the people that buys tickets, any of these like horribly priced tickets to Fyre Fest 2, I feel like you almost deserve to get ripped off. You know what I mean? If you're really like going to be spending that kind of money, whether it be $1,500 or $5,000 or $1 million, This is just absolutely insane. Like, you almost deserve to get ripped off if you're going to fall for this again. And buying tickets to a festival without a single act confirmed or listed on the website. There's no poster. You know, most festivals, when they're announced, they announce the lineup when tickets go on sale, so you kind of know what you're getting into. But maybe this is for the best, because maybe this will deter people from buying tickets, because people should not be buying tickets for this. And I watched the Netflix documentary just like everybody else. Like, those sandwiches look horrible. Like, I love a good sandwich. Okay. And they even botched that, because like, what were in those sandwiches anyways? Were they like egg salad? Were they tuna salad? Who knows? Like, either would be good, but you know, it doesn't sound like they had any turkey or corned beef or anything like that. But as much as I say that people shouldn't buy tickets, you know that people definitely will buy tickets to Fyre Fest too, because people are just like that. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people out there with money that would just do this just for kicks, just to see if it becomes a disaster again, because they can probably take their private jets out of there whenever they want. But anyways, it's going to be different this time. They swear it's going to be different this time. I don't think this is something I would go to, because A, I don't have the kind of money to do this, but B, there are no good bands announced yet. I don't understand why they can't just announce some acts to get people incentivized to buy tickets for this thing. They want people to buy tickets for these things, these exorbitant prices for these tickets. And I was thinking, like, unless they announce like Oasis as the headliner, maybe that they would add that extra day. You know, we're going to do Fyre Fest. We're going to play the entire world tour and come do Fyre Fest. Like, if they were headlining, then maybe I would consider it. But I don't know about that. You know, maybe think about it. You could go get the Prometheus pass, so you can have your own yacht. You're hanging out with the Gallagher brothers on a convicted felon's private yacht. Like, that could be cool. It could be good times. But I do not think Oasis or any band of repute will be on the bill for Fyre Fest. But just absolutely ridiculous that this thing is actually happening. Because I thought most people would have learned their lesson. At least Billy McFarland would have learned his lesson from the original Fyre Fest, and then going to jail for defrauding people for millions of dollars. I figured that would probably be a deterrent to doing it again. But hey, you know what? If you fail, try again. If you fail at ripping people off, then try ripping them off again. Gotta get that Prometheus pass, guys. It's only $1 million, and you can go get ripped off at Fyre Fest. Yeah, let's move on to our next topic on this edition of the Rock News Roundup podcast, and that is the Red Hot Chili Peppers are considering selling their catalog, their entire musical catalog, for $350 million. This comes from Consequence of Sound and Billboard. They're reporting that the Red Hot Chili Peppers might be selling their music catalog to the tune of $350 million. The band already sold the publishing rights to their catalog back in 2021. But I guess this would be the actual rights to the recordings and their sync rights and the mechanical rights and everything like that. The catalog actually brings in, according to this article, $26 million annually, which is crazy to think in 2025 that a band could be making that kind of money, because, CD sales aren't what they used to be. I know vinyl sales are up, but then streaming revenue, not so great. But, the Chili Peppers are still from that bygone era where bands were able to make a lot of money and still make a lot of money. And they're following suit with a lot of other artists who have been selling their catalogs. Like Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog for $500 million. Pink Floyd, we were just talking about that. They sold their catalog for $400 million. And then Queen sold their catalog for like $1 billion. And obviously Queen has so many hits. All these bands have so many hits. Their music is of high value, but $1 billion for a catalog. And they're selling them to these rights companies. It's not even selling them to a label, or sometimes they are. I think Red Hot Chili Peppers want to sell to their label, Warner Brothers, but a lot of times it's just selling to these rights companies who are just gobbling up all the rights that they can possibly find for every band to be able to exploit that catalog. I wish I could come up with a better word, but exploit that catalog for monetary gain, which is fine. That's why the music was made in the first place. But I think the reason why a lot of these bands are doing this, selling their catalogs, is because it's 2025, guys. There are diminishing returns in the streaming era. There's less album sales, like I said. There's dismal streaming revenues. Even a band like the Red Hot Chili Peppers with millions, potentially billions of streams is only going to make a fraction of what they should be from that. And so they can cash in on this and never have to worry another day in their lives and take care of their families, and everybody will be taken care of. And I don't really think that the Chili Peppers have been like really strapped for cash in the last 40 years. Again, making $26 million annually off their back catalog, making new albums as well. So they've been going strong, but this, might be a strong and a good move for them so they can help out their families, they can help out themselves, and really stop worrying about how much money they're going to be making from those diminishing returns on streaming. So this is like I said, it's from a bygone era. It's like, this is a dying breed. I don't think you could find any band from right now, a current band from the last 5-10 years that would be able to do this in 30 years time. It's just, bands and the industry aren't built like that anymore. So, I'm thinking, what's in it, Royal Blood, throwing a random name out there. Royal Blood going to be able to sell their catalog in 30 years for the kind of money that the Chili Peppers are selling for? I don't really think so. I think that's like totally something that's reserved for bands that, made their success in a lot of other places in earlier eras in the past decades when there was still money to be made in the music industry. And to me, I know the Chili Peppers is very much a catalog band. When you listen to the radio, they're playing all their hits. They're playing Under the Bridge. They're playing Give It Away. They're playing Californication, Scar Tissue, By the Way, stuff like that. But I really do think that the Chili Peppers are still a really strong band creatively. I really do. I've enjoyed everything that they put out over the last 10, 15 years. When you think about, 20 years now almost. Stadium Arcadium, which came out in 2006. Oh my God, it makes me feel old, but I love Stadium Arcadium. I love I'm With You, which came out in 2011. And then Unlimited Love, which came out a couple of years ago. Return to the Dream Canteen. The Getaway, which came out in 2016, was a solid album as well. So I think the Chili Peppers are still a great band when it comes to writing new material. But of course, it's not the new music that makes the big bucks. The old stuff is what the moneymaker is, and that's what they're selling, and that's what the potential buyers are going to be the most interested in. And really, think about it, a lot of bands from their era, the Chili Peppers era of being in the 80s and the 90s, are in a position to sell their catalogs. You think about Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all those bands of that era are going to be in a position to sell their catalogs. But will they? That is the big question. But I feel like more and more bands these days are offloading their catalogs for one large sum of money. Like, why wait to see the diminishing returns of streaming revenue and CD sales and vinyl sales just keep decreasing over the years, when you can just cash in, get $350 million right now, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, continue to make new music. Nobody's stopping them from making new music, even though they're getting up there in age. I still like the Chili Peppers music, but I think this is, it's a savvy business decision more than anything. It's not a creative decision. It's not anything that is being fueled by creativity or the need to do something like that. It's purely from a financial and money standpoint that they're doing this. So maybe now the Chili Peppers can afford shirts, right? Maybe. I don't think you'll ever see Flea wear a shirt when you go see the Chili Peppers live, but still pretty cool that they're selling their catalog for $350 million. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the Chili Peppers and other bands selling their catalogs off for a large sum of money and they're just getting out of Dodge? Because that seems to be what a lot of these bands are doing as they get older. So let me know in the comments below. But let's get to our final headliner topic for this edition of the Rock News Roundup Podcast, and that is that get ready for Creed and Nickelback, the Summer of 99 and Beyond Festival. It's going to be happening in East Troy, Wisconsin on July 18th and the 19th. This is part of the tour of the same name that the band is taking on the road this summer. It's Creed's whole thing. They did it last summer as well, the Summer of 99. Really successful tour as far as I can tell. But this is on top of other Summer of 99 things they're doing. They're doing a tour, they're doing this festival, they're doing a cruise as well. So they're doing a lot. And I was thinking, like, what is the obsession? I know it's nostalgia, but like, what is the obsession with the Summer of 99? Like, I was there in the Summer of 99, not to date myself, but I turned 16 years old in the Summer of 99. I was there and it was pretty good. I get the nostalgia. It wasn't like amazing, maybe because I was too young to drink at the time. When I went to shows, it was kind of, maybe not as fun as it could have been when I got a little bit older. But anyways, Creed has recruited another somewhat hated rock band, Canadian rock band from right here in Canada. Nickelback is going to be there as well to headline one of the nights of the festival. It's a 2-night festival. And then they got some other great bands on the bill as well from that era. Live, which is really cool. Daughtry, which is not really of that era. Tonic, Our Lady Peace, and Lit, as well as Three Doors Down, Seven Dust, and Mammoth WVH, Hinder, Vertical Horizon, and Fuel. So as far as 90s rock show lineups go, this is pretty solid. This is pretty cool. And like, again, I'm not really a huge fan of either of Creed or Nickelback, although I don't really hate either band as much as other people just seem to hate other bands. I think Nickelback has some really good songs earlier in their career. I was just as into How You Remind Me back in 99 and 2000 as much as anybody. And then Creed, I think they've their reputation and people's opinion of them has definitely softened over the years because nostalgia is a really strong drug, guys. Nothing is stronger than nostalgia, and that will get you to buy tickets to this kind of show. But I'm really down with the rest of this lineup. I think this is a really strong lineup. Tonic is a late 90s fave that I really love. I met Tonic and hung out with them backstage when they were playing a festival here in Ontario many years back. So that was really cool. Really liked meeting Tonic. They have a lot of great songs. I know they're primarily thought of as like a one-hit wonder with If You Could Only See, but they got a lot of great songs in their catalog. That first album, Lemon Parade, is really good. So I really, really like that. And the same goes for Lit, who I am a huge Lit fan. I love Lit all the way back to when A Place in the Sun came out in summer of 99. I remember that very, very well. That was a huge record for me when I was 16 years old in the summer of 99. And again, they are known more as a one-hit wonder band, or maybe a few-hit wonder band when you have My Own Worst Enemy and Miserable and Ziploc and those songs from the first record, but or not the first record. I think that's like their second or third record. But A Place in the Sun is great. The follow-up to that, Atomic, which came out in 2001, both classic albums of that era. And actually, Lit's most recent album, Tastes Like Gold, which came out in 2022, is fantastic. It's a great record. Kicked Off the Plane, one of the singles from that record, one of my favorite Lit songs. So absolutely cool that they're going to be playing this. Our Lady Peace, another great Canadian band. I was really into Our Lady Peace back in the summer of 1999, the fall of 1999, when they put out the Happiness Is Not a Fish That You Can Catch record. That is my favorite Our Lady Peace record. So, hey, maybe the summer of 99 was better than I remember. Seven Dust is on there as well. Waffle. That's one of my favorite songs by them, one of my go-to tracks of Seven Dust. I don't know a lot of Seven Dust, but I really do enjoy Waffle. That's a great song. Vertical Horizon, who I actually saw live at Edgefest back in Edgefest 99. I saw them on that tour. That was my first Edgefest festival. So yeah, you know what? Here I am. See, I'm going down the rabbit hole of nostalgia here as well. So Vertical Horizon, Hinder is going to be on there. Lips of an Angel. What a song, right? The only Hinder song that I know at all. And then Fuel is on there as well, except it's not Fuel without their original singer, Brett Scallions. Like, he really is the voice of Fuel, but they are playing with their new lineup and their new singer. The only head scratcher that I would say on this list that I don't really understand why they're on the bill is Mammoth WVH. And I'm a huge Wolfgang Van Halen fan. I love the two Mammoth WVH records. I think Wolfgang Van Halen is an amazingly talented musician. I love singing along with his songs. I think he's a great songwriter, but like really, he's not really of this era of the summer of 1999. Like he's a few years younger than me, so he was probably a little bit younger back in 1999, but he's not really part of this era. Like, I know he's probably a big fan of a lot of the bands that are on this bill, and he grew up with their music, just like a lot of us did. But like, it's not quite the same generation. Although I think it's a really great addition to the lineup. Like, it's making me want to buy some tickets to this thing because I love Mammoth WVH. I love Wolfgang Van Halen. But I think of him more as like the summer of 2025, or summer of 2020 something. Not really the summer of 1999. But really, this is still a really solid lineup, and I think the lineup is a little bit different, but overall consistent across the different things, which is the tour, the cruise, and the festival. I've never been on one of those rock cruises. I always wondered if they're any good. Like, if you are watching this video, hop in the comments below. Let me know if you've gone on a rock cruise, whether it be the Weezer cruise or the Summer of 99 cruise or the Kiss cruise. Let me know if you've ever done that and if it's worth it as a fan to go on one of these cruises. Are you going to be, do you hear a lot of music? Do you get to meet any of the bands? Like, how is it going on these cruises? If you've been on one, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this is a really, really good, cool lineup. So once again, they're doing a tour, they're doing a cruise, and they're going to be doing this festival in East Troy, Wisconsin on July 18th and 19th at the same venue which I was looking up. It was, I think it's the Alpine Music Festival venue, where Stevie Ray Vaughan passed away. His helicopter crashed in the mountains of that Alpine ski resort in East Troy, Wisconsin, after one of his concerts there back in the day. So it's got a little bit of that kind of dark history to it as well. I don't really think anybody's, hopefully won't be mentioning that during this show. It's kind of a dark part of history for that particular venue, but still a really, really cool place for these bands to play. So that'll be coming up in July. If you want to go to the Summer of 99 and Beyond tour, festival, or cruise, let me know in the comments below. But we're going to wrap up the show in just a minute. But first, I got to give you my tracks of the week. Every week here on the podcast, I try to list a couple of really great rock tracks that I want to share with you, and I think that you should check out. And so my tracks of the week this week, one of them comes from Mr. Sam Fender, his new album People Watching. I just reviewed it on the channel. Great record, some really, really great songs on the record. But one of the songs I discovered in the process of reviewing the record was the song called Me and the Dog, which is a B-side. That's right, a B-side. Bands still release that. It's all bonus tracks and deluxe editions, but now he released a legitimate B-side, just like all the great UK artists of the past. I think it's on the Arm's Length B-side if you're looking for it on streaming. But this song, Me and the Dog, is really, really cool. Sam Fender is a great songwriter, and I'm just like, again, it's kind of like the Oasis syndrome. Like, why didn't this go on the record? This is a great song. Oasis were known for that. A lot of the bands of the 90s era that were releasing B-sides put a lot of great songs kind of buried on B-sides when they could have been singles and hits in their own right. And I feel like that's kind of how it goes with this Sam Fender song, Me and the Dog. So I thought that was a really, really cool track. So that's one of my tracks of the week. Definitely check out his People Watching record. I'm going to pick some Nickelback for this edition of the show. So because they're playing that Summer of 99 festival, I'm going to pick Old Enough from Nickelback, going back to their record The State in 1998. So it was that record right before Silver Side Up. So they didn't jump the shark, but they definitely went more mainstream on how You Remind Me on Silver Side Up. But The State is a great record from 1998. It's got some great songs on it, like Leader of Men. And then my pick for this week is a song called Old Enough from The State. I really, really like that song. Nickelback had some great rockers early on in their career, and Old Enough is definitely, if I was going to have a favorite Nickelback song, I know is that like an oxymoron, a favorite Nickelback song? But if I was going to have a favorite Nickelback song, it would be Old Enough from The State. So that's one of my tracks of the week. And then, like I mentioned, Tonic, one of the bands that's going to be playing the Summer of 99 festival. Tonic, great band. Love a lot of their hits. Again, If You Could Only See is one of the big hits. They're probably their biggest hit that they've had over the years. But another song from that record, Lemon Parade in 1996, Open Up Your Eyes, which is a great rocker from Tonic. I love the chunky guitars on that song. It's a really, really rocking track. Had a great video back in the 90s where the band was roller skating through a neighborhood while singing the song. So I love that video. It's always kind of stuck in my head. And my band, we covered Open Up Your Eyes at a couple of our gigs back in the day, and that was a super fun song to play. I don't think anybody in the crowd really knew it because, again, it's not as big of a hit as like If You Could Only See. But it is a great Tonic song as well. So Open Up Your Eyes from Lemon Parade. So my tracks of the week this week, Sam Fender, the B-side, Me and the Dog, Nickelback, Old Enough from The State, and then Tonic, Open Up Your Eyes from Lemon Parade in 1996. And that is it, guys. Those are all the topics for this week, for this week's edition of the Rock News Roundup Podcast. Again, hop in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the topics that I was talking about this week. Fyre Fest 2025, Chili Peppers selling their catalog, the Summer of 99, Pink Floyd live at Pompeii coming to IMAX. Hop in the comments below and let me know what you thought of this week's topics. But thank you very much for watching. Again, if you like this video, if you like the channel, you like what you hear, whatever it is, make sure to toss me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube so you don't miss out on future videos. If you're listening to the audio version, make sure to subscribe and review and do all that stuff on wherever you're listening to this podcast on your streaming platforms. And this weekend on the channel, I will be reviewing the new album from Doves called Constellations for the Lonely. I thought I'd be reviewing this a bunch of weeks ago, but the album got delayed a bunch of times. Great month for UK rock. Manic Street Preachers, Sam Fender, and now Doves. I'll be reviewing that record, Constellations for the Lonely, this weekend on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But I'll basically get out of here. So until then, guys, I'll see you guys again in another edition of the Rock News Roundup Podcast. Until then, rock on, everybody.